Okay. All right, so we're going to get started with this special guest showcase on tonight. So I'm just going to give it a few minutes when this trickles down. Let me move a couple of things around for a second. Okay, just gonna take 1 second. Okay. All right, peace and shalom, family. For those coming on in, be sure to share this link. Let's get the word out. Trying to do a little bit more of that myself. And we're gonna get started in 1 minute. Okay. All right. Okay, so as y'all trickle on in, let me go ahead and greet those who I see. So I want to say peace and shalom to Sharon Hammonds. I see you, Lisa Anderson. I see you. Do it for the nation. Shalom. Shalom. As you're coming on in, you can leave some comments. Hit 1, let me know if the audio and video is good. Hit 2 if you want a shout out. All right. We're going to begin in a moment. Make sure to cover all bases here. Okay. All right. Main man in the building. What's going on? LaDonna Jones. Shalom. Gartrell McKinney. Shalom. You're saying the audio and video is cool. All right. All right. No doubt. All right. So let me get started with the show. So thank you for tuning in on tonight. This is kind of like a popcorn pop-up shop show, however you want to call it. And we've been doing this for some time, which is taking a moment out to showcase prominent businesses in our community who we want to give greater visibility to because they have great products, services, programs, business, whatever, et cetera, to offer the community. And we want to make sure that, you know, we get the word out on their behalf, give them an opportunity in their own words to express what their business is about, take a couple of questions in regards to their journey and, you know, what inspired their business and, you know, what are some of their products. So a product showcase as well. Some words of wisdom or inspiration, etc. And this and that. Shout out to Kenny. What's going on? Sister Lynn, Yasharel, Shalom, Karen Gittins. Shalom, I see you. Yeah, we got a lot of our international peoples in here as well. That's going on. That's good. That's good. Like to see that. Like to see that. So in particular, this show, we're going to feature an individual by the name of Tierra Holiday, aka Jecolia's Gems. You may see her in the chat. She's here supporting. She's part of our KHM team, etc. And also her business, Chava's Essence, right? So we're going to give her an opportunity to introduce herself, go into a little about her journey, her products, words of wisdom, etc. Right? But before we do that, I want to give a shout out to all of our new patrons. Thank you all for signing up. After we did Friday's show, we had like 15 patrons sign on, which is amazing. So we hope that all of y'all are getting all back, or you're getting the yield back from your investment into the Patreon page. We, like I said, we constantly adding content. We have over 650 posts on there. So even if you've been on there for a while, you may want to go all the way back, because we have tons of content on there, that we want you to take advantage of. So we definitely appreciate the support. We appreciate everybody that sent donations out as well. People that sent words of encouragement and prayers. I mean, all of that to us has value. It's not just monetary, but everything else. The fact that we see, the community supporting what we're doing over here is amazing, right? And I appreciate it. And again, we try to sow back into our community, right? When people need aid, need help, need assistance, we try to do what we can to help, right? We don't have millions of resources, right, at hand, but the little bit that we do have, based on what we get from the people, you guys, we give it back to the community, right? And there's nothing like that, paying it forward. And when you pay it forward, Yah pays back. Right, that's what I've seen. You pay it forward, he'll pay it back, right? And he's consistent with that. At least I know personally in my life. Shout out to Bettina Francois in the building. Praise the Most High 7. Shalom, Emmanuel. Shalom. Get Wise. Shalom. What's going on? Zeph, I see you. Shalom. All right. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I just want to thank everybody for the support. Also, everything else is in the description below. So if you still need that religious exemption letter, you, family member, friend, coworker, the link is down below. If anybody here needs assistance with debt elimination, credit repair, learning how to budget, etc., the link is down below. Go ahead and shoot us an email, or if you need some assistance in regards to health, Natural Path to Eden team and consultants is there to assist. The email's down below. You can reach us. If there's any other kind of aid or assistance you may need, whether it's prayer, whether it's support, encouragement, financial, email us at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com. And if you want to schedule a free consultation to chat with me, the link is also in the description below. All right. We'll make sure you guys have all of that at your fingertips. Okay. Also, stay on the lookout this week. We're going to have another one of our Clubhouse KHM study sessions on Clubhouse. We're also going to have a pop-up live stream this week as well. I'm not sure what day, but it's going to be before Friday, obviously. We're going to have a pop-up show. But as far as the session that we're going to do on Clubhouse, we're going to share that in the community tab on here, as well as our Patreon page. So make sure you keep an eye on the Patreon page and keep an eye out on the YouTube tab for community, so you can see the things that we have going on. All right. And you guys can tune in. Okay. Now, also, I mentioned as well, if anybody here is trying to get into the language and you need some coaching, we provide free coaching. Just click the link down below and schedule a consultation, and we can assist you with that as well. Okay. All right. So I think that's it. So without further ado, let's going to get started. This is not going to be a lengthy show. This is all dedicated to our special guest. And once that's over, then you guys can tune in when we go live again later on this week. I want to go ahead and bring our guest on and get started with the show. Okay. So again, as y'all coming on in, hit the thumbs up, If you're brand new, hit the subscribe button, go back, check out our archives. Also share this video everywhere so we can get greater visibility. We can tweak around and mess around with the YouTube algorithm so we can get this in the face of the millions and even billions of people that's accessing social media on today. All right. And also, if anybody here, if you have a business where you offer a product, good, service, program, whatever the case may be, and it's beneficial for our community, email us at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com. You'll see it going across the screen as well in the description below. And we'll go ahead and arrange a date and time where we'll go ahead and feature your business as well. Okay. All right. So shout out to Adanya Haor in the building. Yahuda Dawid. Shalom. Praise the Most High 7, and I think that's everybody for now. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring it on a guest. All right, so shalom.
Shalom, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me tonight.
Of course. Awesome. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. So I'm going to let everybody who's tuning in right now get an opportunity to hear from yourself who you are. I'm going to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself. So give us a short introduction, a few minutes just about who you are. I'll ask you a couple of questions as we go a little further, and then we can elaborate a little more from there, okay?
So, thank you once again for having me. All praises be to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I do not take it lightly that you have opened up your audience to me. That is a great honor. So, my name is Tierra. Jecolia is actually my first middle name, Tierra Jecolia Jeanette. So, that's a Hebraic name as well as Jeanette that was given to me at birth. I hail from the great west side of Chicago, Illinois, 290 out west, Illinois, all day. I have a great love for medicine, whether it's holistic medicine. I have a history in pharmacy. I was a farm tech for some years. I was a CNA. I had a double major in nursing and psychology, and unfortunately, due to some major health issues, I was not able to complete my degree, and that allowed me to also continue my studies, but to expand the hunger and the thirst that I had for medication. So just going through some things myself, watching my mother go through some things before she passed away in November. It was just some things about being on medication that never set well with me. So I'm here on this journey, just learning more holistically to find out how I can take the knowledge that I had from the medical background as well as the ministerial knowledge that I gained growing up to help heal the people of the Most High God.
Okay, awesome. That's a great, concise, straight to the point introduction. My condolences to hear about your mother. I know what that's like. I lost my grandmother last year. So, it's been kind of rough, especially with coronavirus and everything else like that. So my prayers goes out to you and your family. Condolences to you and your family for us where your mother's concerned. So in regards to the things you were saying, you gave us a little bit of insight about yourself. So tell us a little bit about your journey, right? How did you get to who you are today? And give us some highlights. So, share whatever you feel comfortable with, but just give us some insight in regards to your journey so people can really identify with the person behind the products that they purchase.
Okay, well, just briefly, my journey, I grew up apostolic Pentecostal. My parents are they were my pastors for about 20 years. And before that, I grew up in ministry. We would be the first people to go to the church. My father was always the armor bearer at every church that we were the part of the ministry. My mother would always take care of the first lady. So being groomed and raised in a life of prayer, in a life of warfare, in a life of growing up where my mother, because she was diagnosed with cervical cancer in 1985 when she was pregnant with me. And so she had the choice of aborting me or having me. And so my mother, up until the day that she passed away, I rewatched videos. And every time that she would minister, because she was a very powerful woman, she would go back to that testimony and she declared to her pastor at the time that she did not have cancer. And so she decided clearly to keep me. And so I grew up in a great household of faith. I grew up in a great household that even though we were Sunday worshipers, keeping the Sabbath was something that was innate on the inside of me, because my mother would literally wake us up praying and we would be stretched out in the floor. And so I learned floor ministry and things of that nature at a very young age. I was always able to express myself, and I've always had a love for the natural things. I don't know if anybody else was part of the 4-H club growing up in grammar school. So I was always someone that was into that side of things, but I always had a deep concern for people. On the Hebraic side, I will say in the 6th grade, between the age of 11 and 12, I actually took place in a history fair in school, and our history teacher gave us an assignment to teach on where we came from. And she was a white woman, but she was very sensitive to, us African American students. And so for me, what resonated with me the most was Israel. And so I never forget, I went home and I told my parents I have to do a history fair on somewhere where I'm from. And they said, well, where are you picking? I said, I'm picking Israel. They said, okay, what are you going to do? And I took my Bible to school with me at 12 years old. And instead of the 15 minutes, my history teacher gave me 2 days to teach. And so I remember distinctively, I went to school and I taught from Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, because it was just something. By being a writer, by being a creative person, when I read, I see everything in 3D. And so when I began to stand up, and that was nothing new to me, because at the age of 12, I recognized I had a ministerial calling on my life. And so it's just a lot of things. I was being pulled by the Most High ever since I was a little girl. And so being here now was just a fulfillment of the anointing that the Most High had on my life before I was ever able to take breath in this realm.
Okay, awesome. Wow, that's very fascinating. Don't know if I know anybody that actually has something similar going on, especially at that young, being able to want to demonstrate who they are in regards to going back to Israel. I know when I was in 6th grade, so you said 6th grade, you said, right? 6th, 7th grade?
Yes.
That definitely was not on my mind. I think my science project was like volcanoes or something like that, the typical science. So that goes to show that, like the Most High said to Yirmiyahu or Jeremiah, that he set you apart while you were in your mother's womb. Saying that this echoed by the psalmist as well. So that's wonderful to know that even at a young age, you were like young Samuel, when the Most High was calling him. And he was under the tutelage of Eli. And he's like, who's calling me? And it's just powerful to know that, Yah, he plants the seeds at that age. He allows our parents to borrow us for a short period of time. But when he sets you apart in the womb, he's the one that's choosing you. He's the one that's calling you. He's the one that's birthing the ministry through you. So that's wonderful to hear. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
So from that point to now, if you was to look at your life, what would be some of the key accomplishments that you think that you were able to successfully commit to and or progress to, right? That lead you to where you at today? What are some key accomplishments that if somebody was looking, they say, wow, that's very encouraging to know that?
Well, in 5th grade, I'm going to talk about my parents a lot, because that's all I've seen, and that's my only reference that I've known. My parents were married for 36 years. In the 5th grade, I followed after my mother's footsteps, and my older sister and I, we joined the All City Elementary Youth Chorus, which she was a part of. She went to Whitney Young. For those of you who don't know, in my mind, it's the number 2 school in Chicago, because I went to Lane Tech and my father went to Lane Tech. So it was a rival in the house. My mom went to Whitney, my big sister went to Whitney, and me and my father went to the same high school. She was the first student to go into all city chorus for high school. So in the 5th grade, I auditioned, and this was a professional choir, a choir that, like I said, you have to audition for. And anyone that has a musical background will know that, although I don't subscribe to the Star Spangled Banner anymore up on education, I auditioned singing that song, and that song is a very, very hard song to sing, especially at the age of 10. And I made it into that choir. And so from the age of 10, I want to say up into 13, because I was kind of worn out, every Saturday, my mother would drive me and my big sister to Whitney Young around 6 o'clock in the morning. I learned how to read sheet music. There was first alto, second alto, all of the breakdowns, 2 of every voices. And my second year in the choir, I was the only person in the choir to obtain every sticker. So from first alto all the way down to bass. I was allowed the privilege of touring from Toronto, Canada, Vancouver, Canada, Seattle, Washington, so forth and so on, with this chorus, singing at Orchestra Hall, singing for Mayor Daley, Bo Jackson. I've also done background singing on a professional gospel CD. I'm an award-winning poet. I've written about 3 books. Ever since the age of 15, I was the one who was editing my mother's papers. She graduated with her doctorate in pastoral counseling, but she also had 2 master's degrees, secular degrees. I'm just a very creative person. And for me, my biggest accomplishment, honestly, although out of season, for mankind's sake and for the law and the statute of commandments of the Most High God for being a Hebraic woman, but my biggest accomplishment is being a mother to my 2 children. Though that's my biggest accomplishment. My daughter is 17 years old, and she has broken every generational curse that was on my life. At the age of 17, I was pregnant in my senior year of high school, and my daughter has her head on straight. She's graduating senior year. My son, I'm homeschooling him. He's amazing. And so for me, though, those are my biggest accomplishments, regardless of what accolades it is that I have. My biggest accomplishment is always, until I get married, if the Most High says the same, will always be being a mother.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that trip down memory lane in the mind of Tierra Holiday. We appreciate that. Now, you did say that you sing. Now, you know, I could put you on display and you could just pull a note or two up. You feel comfortable doing that?
Well, honestly, I'm a worship singer. I'm more of a spoken word artist.
Okay. We're going to get to that. We'll
Singing
get
is
to that part.
something, yeah. Like I have bars all day, but
Heard some of them.
singing, yeah, I'm not going to be, you know, one of those. My voice is very, I mean, you guys hear me, I have a very raspy voice. I don't walk around saying I'm classically trained. I'll say that.
That's awesome. Awesome. Okay. So another thing that's good, and we're going to leave that to the end, right? We're going to give you an opportunity to shine at the end. But you also have a business called Chava's Essence, right? Can you please, kind of give us a little bit of insight into the name of that business? Tell us what the business is about and what inspired you to create that business.
Well, Chava's Essence, I mean, I'm positive majority of your audience is aware that Chava is the name of the biblical Eve. And so by her being the mother of all things living, and by my belief system is that it is our due diligence as a people to get back to Eden in the way that we were supposed to live, in the way that we were supposed to eat, in the way that we were supposed to conduct ourselves, in the life of our worship and the closeness of the Most High. And so when I began to look at her name and look at the essence and the symbolic nature that the woman was created in, and even being in a fallen state, that is something that I aspire to grasp, is the essence of Eve, the essence of who I was created to be. And so by combining the diet and just the woman nature and the femininity of it, and just knowing that as a woman, by me being womb, by me being garden, if we take that as synonymous with the book of Proverbs, and by my name being Tierra, by being earth, then this is something that has already been innate on the inside of me. So just taking all of those things and mixing it in with the fact that unfortunately, I have tasted death. I've tasted death several times, like real life death, real life death. And back in 2013, I went through 5 surgeries within a year's time. And unfortunately, as a little girl, I wish that my parents knew more. They did everything that they knew how. I 2013, I'll never forget, I was working and going to school full time, 2 children. I'm at the height of everything. I'm just living my life. And my hands and my feet were on fire. And I went to my parents' house to switch out cars, being spoiled, getting my daddy's truck to go to school. And I'm screaming out in pain. And I have a very high tolerance for pain. So if I'm screaming out in pain, my parents are automatically like, what's going on? So long story less long, my father rushed me to the hospital. In my disobedience, I wanted to go to school. And the doctor looked at him and told him, if your daughter does not have emergency gallbladder surgery, she's going to die within the next 24 hours. My gallbladder went septic. And because I was living a certain type of lifestyle as a woman, I'm saying this to let women know that even if you are living a set aside life, you still need to go to the doctor and get yourself checked out. Because this gallbladder surgery sent me to that doctor, and 2 weeks within that recovery, I found out that I had cervical cancer. And I end up having 2 procedures to see if they could remove it. And unfortunately, they weren't able to. And I didn't know everything that I knew about medicine that I know now, holistically. But I also knew that my mother had a history of cervical cancer when she was pregnant with me. And I had 2 children. And so with that, I ended up having an abdominal hysterectomy from the cervical cancer. And after that, in 2016, I had a very bad fall, very bad injuries that literally, according to my MRI records, I should be paralyzed. All 5 of my discs in my back on my lumbar are herniated. The doctors diagnosed me with fibromyalgia, sciatica, bursitis in my right hip. My doctor, who's been my doctor since the age of 17, looked at me with tears in his eyes and said, "I don't know how you're walking." And so they placed me on 4 pills 3 times a day. I got up to 236 pounds. I am 5'2.5". I've never been, I've always been, a Black woman, but I've never been that heavy before in my life, even in pregnancy. And I remember there would be days when I would crawl to the bathroom and I would have to force myself to get up and take my children to school and force myself to do different things. And this isn't the life that I live. I can't even function as a woman. I can't function as a mother. And so one day at the church, Sunday service, I went in my kitchen and me and my children prayed. And I said, this will be the last day that I pop a pill for medication. This will be the last day that I'm groggy and in pain. And so that was 4 years ago. And I have not been on maintenance medication since then. And I've been doing herbal baths, which I sell. I started doing my herbal teas. And so all of the products that I do sell right now are things that I use myself and that I have studied myself. And so I am my first patient.
That's truly incredible. I thank the Most High that through all of that you did not lose faith. You continue to push forward, because some people would give up. I know some really bad stories where people actually committed suicide because they was going through so much pain and anguish when they just couldn't bear it, and it, people also, they suffer in silence. They don't really say much. They just don't want to be a burden to anybody else, so they just deal with it. And it's unfortunate, but it's good to know that when people who have been through it have actually started to create things from that, it gives them purpose to the pain, right? And then they can bring relief to others. So sometimes we go through it not only for our own highlights in our lives, but also so that way we can be there to help others that who otherwise, without us going through it, they would have nobody to relate to. So it's amazing that you share that. And it's crazy because you had mentioned that your mom had cervical cancer, right? You said when she had you, and then you wound up having cervical cancer, and the fact that now you interceded on your own behalf in your own life. Now you know what to look out for with your daughter, right? To make sure that she does not step in those footsteps. So again, it starts, like you said, with just good hygiene and good diet and how you carry yourself and stuff like that. Like all of those things are necessary so that women would know, hey, if I'm in alignment with these things, then that won't befall me like it did my mother or my grandmother or my great grandmother, because we don't even know how far back that probably goes through your own family tree, So I thank the Most High for moving you through it. So sharing that, giving us the name, which is great, the story behind it. Show us some products that you have. Show us some things that you have, some of the highlights of your product line. Explain to us what's the story behind it, what is its intended use, and then we'll transition from there. So go ahead, you got the floor.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys this first. I have several. This is my Calendula Body Oil. So I did not bring all of the oils on because there are a lot. I make body oils as well as beard oils and massage oils. So the body oils are they have vitamin E in them, natural preservatives since they are oil based, and sometimes they get close to water. All of my body oils are olive oil based. It has grapeseed oil in it as well. Now, I do suggest skin testing. Some people have allergic reactions, sensitive skin. Now, this is a calendula flower. The flowers that I have on in stock right now is calendula, roses, hibiscus, lavender, and chamomile, or some people call it calendula. And so this is very, very, very good for eczema, psoriasis, dry skin. A lot of us think that we are having adult allergies, but a lot of times our histamines are out of whack because of our gut health. And so, unfortunately, because on the Sabbath, I was eating a lot of beans, a lot of foods that are very, very high in histamines. So I started to break out, and I don't like taking Benadryl. And so I broke out one night and I used this, and the itching went away a lot. Now you guys see Brother Damon. Thank you, Damon. He bought some of my beard oil. He's from Chicago as well. And he brought the Rose. I want to say the Rose is one of my highest selling beard oils. It's a sulfur fragrance. The Rose is very good for moisturizing. It's a very nice fragrance, but it also has nice astringent properties to it. And with this calendula oil, a lot of times the men that buy this have coarser beards. My father uses this, and his beard is amazing. I'm not going to take credit for that, but unfortunately, he suffers from blackheads as well as eczema, and so do a couple of other guys who buy this. And one of my good friends, she buys this for him, and all of his ingrown hairs come out right away. So this would be a very, very good oil. Now, the massage oil, I put more essential oils in there, like peppermint, eucalyptus, tea tree oils. I can put some turmeric, whatever it is that you guys need for anti-inflammatory properties. So if you're going to get a massage, if you need a massage at home, this is something that you can use. The body oils it's really one of my favorite things to use. I don't use lotion. And my kids, they're in here, and they say my skin is softer than theirs. I don't use lotion. I use oil on my skin. Now, I'm going to tell you guys like this. You cannot put oil in your face. You cannot put oil in your skin without exfoliating, or you will get your pores clogged. So this is a number one seller right now as well. This is one of my baths. Now, this is calendula flower as well. And this actually has lavender in it. And so lavender is amazing because it's soothing, but it also has antifungal and antibacterial property. This has oatmeal in it as well as organic oatmeal. And so I would definitely suggest coupling this together with the calendula oil if you are someone who suffers from dry skin. And this is lavender sea salt. So all of my salt baths is either lavender sea salt, pink salt, or fine sea salt, or rose sea salt. I'm very particular about the type of salts that I use as well. And so if you're someone that's suffering from dry skin, you can actually use this, and you could boil it on top of the stove, and you could pour it into your bath. I can also make it up so that it's in little tea bags and not this. So you can just dip it into your bathtub and let it sit for about 20 minutes. This one right here, this is actually what I call the Recam bath. And so if you guys could see that, because I have yoni steam kits. And so the yoni steam kit is made up of all of these flowers. And so this bath is great with the yoni steam kit. Now, I know some women have not delved into yoni steaming. Yoni steaming is something that's an Eastern culture. So, you'll have a lot of scientists who say that it's not founded, and we know that everything is not scientifically founded. But when you look at the benefits of red basil, calendula, nettle leaf, raspberry leaf, roses, all of these things work great, especially for a woman that's going into childbirth, that just experienced childbirth, that's coming off of her menstrual cycle, that's going through postpartum depression, and also women that have experienced trauma. And so this bath is good. All of these products are good for men as well, you guys. You get off that long day of work, you need a body detox. I make foot detoxes. There are some people who are construction workers, some battle rappers, actually, who I've sent out products to, who use my products. They use my beard oils, use my body bath products as well. And so I also do teas. Now, these are not all my products. I have a website, guys, but unfortunately, since I sell holistic products, you have to DM me on Instagram to place an order, because the website will not allow you to buy holistic products on it. But I do have a website. So this right here is my rose insomnia tea. And so this has real rose petals as well as rose hips. And it has raspberry leaves, it has nettle leaves, as well as chamomile and lavender. This is one of my favorite teas, and this is definitely for someone who's suffering from any type of anxiety, any type of depression, having trouble going to sleep. I do not give out medical advice and I do not claim cures. I'm just telling you that if you let these herbs work for you, you clean up your diet, then they will work on your behalf. Now, this is my red berry requiem tea. This is juju berries. And so just letting you guys know, there are several ways that you can make my tea. You can make it using it just like you would regular coffee. You can boil it on top of the stove, get you 1 to 2 teaspoons, boil it on top of the stove, or you can put the contents inside of a cup and just pour it. Sweeten it with honey, guys. Do not use sugar. Do not use equal. Do not use Splenda or anything else. Use honey and it will be amazing. And you can also drink it over ice. So this is juju berries. These have to sit longer. These have to soak. And it's hibiscus leaves in here as well. Everything that I sell has some type of anti-inflammatory properties, helps with digestion, helps with constipation. A lot of things that I sell definitely helps with womb care a lot because of everything I've been through and everything that I've seen other Black women go through. I do not want to see us repeat the same cycles that we call generational curses due to our ignorance. And I also have a blue mood tea. Now, there are some mornings that I wake up and I drink this, or I'll take a hibiscus and I'll blend it with a rose. A rose is very, very, very good for anxiety, for when you're feeling these, these low moods. You need a pep up in your day. So I do have things for sore throats. I use mint in a lot of my teas. I use eucalyptus, and so I custom make things as well. So whatever it is that you guys need, as long as it's my expertise, I will definitely make it for you. If it's something that's beyond my realm, I'll send you out someone else. I will not sell you a product that I have not used myself and I have not researched. I do definitely suggest that before you take any products, that if you're on medication, you research and you take it to your doctor and ask them how the medication is going to interfere. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for viewing the products that I showed you on today. Thank you, Divine.
Welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much for showing it to us. And we appreciate that. Again, the objective of this showcase is to bring greater visibility to what you have going on. I believe in the products that you have. You actually send the kit out to me and my Isha, and we greatly appreciate that as well. And I just want the whole world to know what's going on your side so that more of our community can patronize what you have going on. And I appreciate that. So if they want to order, you're saying for them to go directly to Instagram?
Yes, I have a site, but DM me on Instagram. When I set up the PayPal.
What's your Instagram? Yeah,
Tierra.
What's your Instagram?
TIERRA_holiday with 2 L's.
Now I know it, but I want to get it for them so I can put it down below so people can see it. Okay, do you have what's your website?
My website.
Oh, you're muted. I can't hear.
So sorry. Can I copy it
That's
into
okay.
the private chat so you could paste it in the comments?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Yep. So you could just send it there and I'll drop it off over there. So that way we can have it scroll to the bottom. And when you finish that, I want to ask you another question. But when you have that, I want to put it up there. And any other, you can put it in the private chat. If there's any other social media handles that you have that they can contact you, reach out to you, support what you have going on, you can also drop that there as well.
Okay, so just letting you guys know, the link that you're posting, my shop is on there. It's also a trauma blog as well. So it's multiple things on that website.
Gotcha. All right. Let me put this up here. All right. Okay. All right. And just shift this over here. Okay. All right. So you can see right there, that's her IG showing up there. That's the website showing up there as well. Now, since you mentioned that, I was going to go into the second thing that I want to talk about. You also have a alias, Jecolia's Gems. Can you give us a little bit of background about that and segue that into the content that you have on the website and some of the other content that you also share on your YouTube channel?
Yes, so Jecolia Gems, it's birthday. My name is Jecolia. And I want to say, oh, goodness, maybe between 12 to 8 years ago, I would do these food for thought videos on Facebook. And my father told me back then, you need to create a YouTube page. You need to have a separate business page. You need to, do these things. And I did them, but I never fully followed through. And so this time around, I said, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it fully, being in a different position in my life and just being more gun-ho and having a spirit of determination, maturity as well. And so with Jecolia Gems, I find that for some reason, I really don't get it. Being an introverted person, people come to me and they ask me random questions about the most random things. And by being a writer, and I've heard you spit bars, so I'm quite sure a lot of times people may tell you, man, you dropping gems. And so that's something I get a lot. So I'm like, well, Jecolia Gems. And so that's how I came up with the name, but also looking into the meaning of my Hebraic names, knowing that Jecolia was the mother of King Uzziah, and that she's one of the few women that's named biblically. And so I'm like, she was named for a reason, and that was my great grandmother's name. And then Jeanette, going back into the Semitic war goddess, Annette, and that was after another one of my great grandmothers. And so when I decided to do the YouTube page, I wanted to make sure that it was something that, of course, would pick up an algorithm, but something that was true to me and something that would reach the audience that I've already built up, but something that's just relatable. And so on my YouTube page, I have different segments, and with the link, one of the main things that I do is I host interviews. Every now and then, I've been doing them almost every week. I have another one coming up on Friday at 6 p.m. And I created a blog, and it's called Survivor Scribe. And in that blog, with the live interviews coupled with just little brief snippets, because we know that a lot of people don't like to read anymore, I pick different people that I know, different people that I've come across whom have some type of traumatic stories, but they are literally living a 180 from what it is that they have came from. And so I give them an opportunity to share their stories, to give a background, and to give out words of advice, words of wisdom, but to also let people know that they aren't the only one who have been traumatized, whether it's been rape, molestation, divorce, the parent dying, a loved one being killed. And these people are also able to highlight their businesses as well. This was something that was birthed out of me, out of my own experience, whether it be first-handed, whether it be nursing some other woman's wounds from being in an abusive relationship, or just seeing toxicity around me at large. And so with Jecolia Gems on YouTube, I also go into some Hebraic aspects of breaking down misnomers in today's culture in comparison to Near Eastern religion. I talk about food. I talk about diets. There'll be fat. I love to dress. I love to cook. I can cook. My God, can I cook? So that's one of the main things that's actually, I'm about to start a food and travel blog. And so if you subscribe to my YouTube, you'll be thoroughly entertained one way, shape, form, or fashion. I do spoken words on there as well. That's me coming out of my shell, because I'm very sensitive about my art. And I probably have about 100 pieces. And so, yeah, that's my YouTube page is probably about 20% of who I am.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So y'all go over there right now, put it there on the screen. I didn't want to really put the link per se because you got to type a lot of stuff. So just look up Jecolia's Gems and you'll find our YouTube channel. Make sure you guys subscribe if you're watching now. If you're watching the replay, make sure you subscribe and let's assist our sister. Okay. Now, another question came up. What is some of the best advice that you gave on that channel or doing that type of ministry, right? If you, and it may not be one thing, but I'm asking for one thing. If you have to peruse through all the advice that you've given, encouragement words, insight, if you can just pull something out that can encourage people today, what do you think that would be?
Be true to yourself. Honesty is the one thing that you can always lean and depend on. It's going to always take you to deceive yourself before you deceive anyone else. And as long as you know who you are, no matter what people say, no matter what comes your way, no matter what adversity comes your way, when you know that you are rooted and you are grounded in the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and when you know all of your good and all of your bad and you don't allow anybody to shame you, that's the only way that you are going to be able to live a fulfilled life, is being honest with yourself.
Awesome. Awesome. That's right to the point. You don't waste no time. That's great. That's excellent. Thank you. And hopefully that encouraged somebody out there who's looking for that and need that word, what they call a rhema word, in its due season, right? So I received that. And hopefully those of you who are out there as well, please, soak it in. And if you want more of those gems, just go right to our YouTube channel and subscribe. She also has some clips of some stuff as well on her Instagram page, mixed in with some of her products and so forth. So again, like she says, a treasure trove. You never know what you're going to get, but you will be entertained, if not encouraged and edified at the same time. So at this point, since you brag so much about this, which I know is good, but now you have an opportunity, because we like to match the personality with the products, right? And the personality with the preaching and the words and stuff that you give out. So, we're going to give you a moment to collect yourself. See if you can pull one up on top of your head off the dome, or if you have something written automatically. Go ahead and spit something for us. Let's get edified and entertained before your presence is no longer here, but we want you to hit it with a great exclamation mark. So the floor is yours.
Okay. Y'all are really okay. I wrote this February 11th, 2020. So just give you guys a little insight. When I write, I don't go back, I don't edit, I don't remove anything. I just go in my notes, or I pull out my phone and I voice record. I don't live a life of lies, illusions, and mirages. I come through like tornadoes and hurricanes that tear through tops of garages. No deposits, unvoided checks and balances. My checks will leave you voided and knock off balances. I'm a debt collector with negotiating powers. Admission advisor for the school of hard knocks. No Annie or Howard. Whether they be an orphan or black excellence. Wisdom be the teacher. Words be the ether. Pole be the keeper. Corner shooter be the reaper. Pull, jumpers, gains, scribe of the instructions, distributor of the game. Right hook be the sleeper. Call it the cousin of death. Gangrene topically, yet it starts from within. Hitting everyone around you, call it the law of the next of kin. Place your soul in a box, no voodoo incantations. Processed foods, death to your soul in a box. Intuition on high, I got a gut feeling. Touching on the major organs, tangible gut feelings. Regurgitating emotions, throwing up gut feelings. Poke until it all spills out. Stuff the cake, BBLs, or gut feelings. I let it all hang out. Now my gut spilling. Click, the sound of the trigger. Bait, the worm on the end of the stick. I know when the noodle's done. Throw him against the wall and see if he sticks.
That was fire. I wish I had Don DeMarco, but I ain't got the Don DeMarco button. But that was a Don DeMarco moment. All praise to the Most High. That was great. That was awesome. Thank you so much for blessing us with your stage presence and your words. We truly appreciate that. Before I let you go, is there any final words that you like to share? And if anybody's in the audience and you have a question for the sister, please ask it now. Because again, we have about 10 more minutes. So I'm going to give you a few minutes. You can go ahead and close out. And then if anybody have any additional questions for the sister, please put it in the chat and I'll go ahead and ask her for you. So floor is yours, sis.
I just thank you once again. I really, 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 really do appreciate it. I thank all of you guys in the chat. I know that everyone comes here to hear Divine break down the word. My children love to they love your personality. You know, you could get the word anywhere, but just the gravitate in the nature of which you exhibit yourself, the friendly nature of your wife. I definitely honor her in her absence. You know, for me, I'm gonna always reverence her. You know, I'm a little churchy as a first lady. My mom was a first lady, so so I just thank you once again for taking time out of your busy schedule as a husband and as an overseer to allow me, your audience, while they listen into the vain babblings of someone like me.
I wouldn't call it vain babblings, but it definitely was a lot of insight. You took us on a nice little ride, like you said, in regards to your history. And, you know, I like to learn the story behind the person and the personality behind the individual that actually has created a product that we wanted to become a household name, right? So people can identify with it, they can relate to it, and they can actually say, hey, you know what? I know a little bit about the person who created this. You know, they took time out to the people who they're actually pitching to actually give a little bit of themselves. And being that you was your own first patient, a little bit of you is inside each and every package that you send out. And that's something that when coupled with prayer, you can't get from a store shelf, right? So that's why it's good to have these type of venues and avenues to kind of give that out to the people so that people then can get something from it. And they know when they get the product, not only are supporting your business, but they're supporting your journey, right? They want to see you win. We want to celebrate you along the way and make sure you have your flowers from today going forward, right? So we do appreciate that. And we appreciate you. Anybody else have a question? They're asking if you're part of our music group.
I will be. I'll go on the app and join now. I am registered
Yeah,
as a songwriter on BMI, guys. So I'm stepping out
yeah,
this year to
that's
do some
awesome.
things.
Yeah, so we have a KHM MG music group coming out very soon. We are looking for artists and so forth. So if you definitely have songwriting capabilities, we actually see that you can drop bars in regards to spoken word. And even a lot of things you say in your videos, you know, also resonates with the people. Then yeah, I mean, if she's willing, whenever we get everything up and running, then we'll definitely have the sister bless a couple of tracks and or do a whole spoken word track, you know, which I think would be
Oh,
dope as
wow.
well. Any other questions for the sister? They're saying you should be on the next mixtape. They
Oh,
just
my
they just love
goodness.
that part. That's why I want to save the best for last. um, any other questions for the sister, or did you guys soak in her essence that she just like she said threw up from the gut? That's what she said from the. Oh man, it's a crazy
I
bar
had
right
some
there.
more flips, but I was like, leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Yeah, that was cool. Anybody else said
Thank you.
anything for the sister? That she took time out of her busy schedule as well to be here with y'all. If not, I think that you left a great impression. Nobody has any questions. Everything was clear, concise, to the point. So yeah, so with that, thank you for being here, Sister Tierra. We truly appreciate your presence and for sharing the product with us. Please, as soon as we close the show, go subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow her on Instagram, and please purchase one of her products. We have them here. We use them. They're excellent. I don't have a word for it, right? And I'm a wordsmith, right? These products is great. You will not regret it. And if there's any issues, the sister definitely is available to provide support behind the products that she stands by and that she puts together for you guys. And as a parent, you know, and having children watch a mother not give up despite the adversity and being productive and entrepreneurial is a gift from the Most High. You know, our children are a gift to us, so we have to allow Yah to be their gift through us, right? And you've definitely exhibited that, and we definitely appreciate that. So tell your children, Devon said, "What's up?" All right.
Divine
Um,
said, hey, y'all.
yeah, and they get a shout out. Um, Ink Pen 27 says he needs the beard oil. So
Got you.
again, you can go. Yep, the IG is right there. So please DM her. Also, sister, I also DM'd you Square online checkout as another option. I don't know if you've considered using that before as a
Mm-hmm.
means to sell your products, because a lot of times with Wix, you may need a plugin or you may need e-commerce platform to actually add on to the site. But ways to get around that is using Square Online Checkout. So you can do it strictly through links you can sell, or you can embed it on your site People can click on it without having to add anything additional, and they can purchase it just like that. So I just want to just put that on for you, give you a little bit of gems, so that
Thank
way you
you.
can be more efficient in doing your business. Yeah, because I want to see you win. So whatever information that I know that's been successful for me or others, I'm gonna send them your way so that you can enhance what you got and leave a more powerful impact. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course, no problem. Free game. You drop those bars. I gave you free game in advance. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for your time, sis, and for your words of wisdom. We greatly appreciate that. Make sure you guys go and support the sister. Everything's there on the screen. And as always, if anybody here has a business or a non-for-profit, you sell a product, good service program that you know is beneficial to the community, and that you're willing to come on the screen and explain about your journey, who you are, what's the story behind your brand, so people can identify with that, email us at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com. All right. So thank you for watching, family. I love you guys. Peace and shalom. We out of here. Shalom.
Shalom.